Good day everyone and welcome to the 6th part of SCP-1730, and it's time for the big guns. MTF Samsara are going in. A massive thanks to all the patrons and members as always for their support, a quick word from today's sponsor and we'll get started. Now, the Foundation might have cybersecurity tech we can only dream of, but what could be better and more affordable than NordVPN, officially the fastest VPN on the market? Is there a game you want but it isn't available in your country? Easy. Just connect to that country and buy it. No geo-restricted servers, and no risk of DDoS attacks either. TV, connect anywhere. Never miss your favourite shows again. Is your favourite streaming site not available in your country? Again, easy. Just connect to a new country. Also, no bandwidth throttling. You can connect to over 5,200 servers in 59 countries. No data is stored, super fast 10 gigabit per second servers, you can block your connection with the kill switch, and even use 2 VPN servers at once for double safety. Their threat protection is unmatched. Web trackers, intrusive ads, and malicious URLs are all instantly blocked. Downloaded files are checked for malware, and any online spies and stalkers are completely blocked from all your devices. Use my link to save 65% on the 2-year bundle plan. You get 4 months for free, and you're also covered with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Give it a go, follow the link and go and enjoy all the amazing benefits of using NordVPN today. Addendum 1738. Extraction and Recovery Video Log Transcript. Date: Exploration Team, Mobile Task Force Tau 5, Samsara. Team Lead, Irantu. Team Members, Munru, Onru, Nanku. The following is a transcript of an extraction and recovery mission carried out by the members of Mobile Task Force Tau 5, Samsara, after contact by MTF AP3 game wardens with human survivors within SCP-1730. The AP3 team had requested assistance in extracting the survivors due to the large number of hostile entities within the site. Each member of MTF Tau 5 was outfitted with a number of cybernetic enhancements per the specifications of their design, including arm-mounted incendiary cannons, shock-absorbing leg extensions, heat-resistant plating, built-in scramble adaptations within the eyes, and others. Tau 5's insertion point was a drainage gate near the secondary entrance that the AP3 team had inserted through. Begin log.
We're plugged in. Site Command, do you read me?
We do. You are 30 seconds to insertion.
So, how dangerous should this mission be considered?
Not a single person they've sent in has come out yet. Considerably.
Acknowledged. This should be engaging.
Team, check your optics. The last thing we need is somebody succumbing to mimetic hazard.
Understood. I'm good.
Also good.
I'm good.
Good. Remember, all we're looking to do here is extract the survivors. We're not attempting to contain anything, so if you see something nasty, put it down.
As always.
I don't need to be convinced.
Tau 5, you are cleared to begin extraction and recovery.
Let's go.
The T5 team enters SCP-1730 through a drainage gate under the secondary office structure. Each team member activates their shoulder-mounted lamp illuminating the tunnel. After a short time, the team reaches another gate. Several large drainage pipes are visible behind the gate.
Look, up against the gate. Bodies.
No fewer than 20 charred humanoid forms in varying stages of destruction are pushed up against the bottom of the gate. Several arms are pushed through the gate and are reaching out towards the tunnel.
These look very burned. Where do you think they came from?
Hard to say. I can't imagine they would have made it far in this condition.
There's an incinerator near here, right? Near that body pit we keep hearing about? Maybe they came from there.
An incinerator?
As good a place to start as any. Let's get into those pipes there.
The T5 team cuts through the gate and scales the wall behind it to the largest of 3 drainage pipes. Team continues on for a short time.
The temperature's rising.
I noticed it as well. We must be getting close.
We're descending right now too. This is strange. Shouldn't a drainage pipe run out, not in?
Maybe. Maybe it's affected by the topographical abnormalities.
Likely.
Irantu, the wall is weak here. I can hear echoing on the other side of it.
What's over there?
Hang on. A hallway, I think.
I see. Alright. We'll split up here. Munru, you and Nanku see where this tunnel lets out. Onru and I will go through this wall and see what's on the other side.
And if we get killed?
Don't get killed.
Understood.
The T5 team splits up, with Nanku and Munru following the drainage pipe towards the source of the heat, and Irantu and Onru going through the thin wall to the hallway beyond. Irantu and Onru manage to break down the concrete wall between the drainage pipe and the hallway beyond. Within the hallway are several bare offices, barely lit by dim overhead lights. The entire area appears to have been abandoned for some time. Irantu and Onru look for an elevator or stair access but find nothing. After a short time, Onru finds a door that opens into a control room. A large glass observation window is obscured by some dark material. Many of the controls in this room have been destroyed.
This is the control room for the incinerator, see? It says Incinerator number 1 over there. And below it says Body Pit Access Below.
I've never heard of a furnace that needs its own control room. What's blocking the windows there? Blast shields?
No. These are bodies and garbage, refuse. Congealed and coagulated. Look, you can see their faces.
I see. Our intel said that one of the engineers had blocked up the drainage pipes out of here. Nanku and Munru are probably going to run into that. I wonder if there's another way down from here. I thought we'd be able to go down through the incinerator.
Hang on.
Onru proceeds to look over the controls on a relatively undamaged controller near the observation window. As she does, Nanku and Munru appear at the door.
It's blocked. Something has turned the end of that pipe into slag. We tried to punch through it, but it's pretty thick.
I broke my hand on it. Look.
Nanku holds up her hand, which is undamaged.
It was broken, I mean.
Quiet. Onru is onto something.
Got it.
Onru throws a large switch and turns several nearby knobs. There is an immense groaning sound and the mass in front of the window begins to spin slowly.
Interesting.
There is a jolt as if something had broken free, and the mass begins to spin rapidly and slowly descend. There is the distinct sound of the turbine spooling up. The team's internal temperature gauges begin to register a steady increase in heat.
It's dropping. Look down there. See?
The mass has cleared the window, revealing a massive cylindrical chamber on the other side, at least 300 meters in diameter and roughly 400 meters deep. At the center of the chamber is a massive shaft extending the full height of the chamber, attached to several large turbines. As the turbines spin, the matter within the chamber is turned into a slurry. Near the top of the chamber are several pilot lights. Large holes are present around the outside of the chamber.
Alright, and then?
Onru throws another switch and the pilot lights are ignited. Enormous streaks of fire cascade down the ceiling of the chamber, scorching the mass below. Additional jets of flame begin to emit from the walls of the chamber.
Look, down near the bottom. There's a sluice gate that looks like it's leading away from here. Over there, see? Can you get that door open?
Yes. Got it.
A large circular door opens near the bottom of the pit, above the level of the matter within.
Excellent. Though I still don't know how you think we're going to get in there. The pipe is blocked.
Nanku extends her arm and fires several rounds from a wrist-mounted projectile weapon at the glass window in front of them. The glass cracks and shatters, exposing the room around them to the heat of the chamber.
Straightforward.
One does what one can.
The team enters the incinerator and jumps down onto a ledge below, near another drainage pipe. They make their way through the vast chamber, avoiding the spinning blades and ever-descending biological slurry around them.
Something unpleasant took place here.
Oh?
Yes, in fact. All of this has to be draining somewhere, likely out below us, through one of these fissures.
We don't have time to find out. We'll follow this pipe down and see where it goes.
The team enters the open door and descends down the drainage pipe a short distance, before it empties into a large cistern. The team enters the cistern, which is lit from above by a large glowing plant-like structure.
Interesting. What do you think that is?
I don't know.
At the sound of their voices, the glowing structure begins to shake slowly, and thousands of glowing spinning pods are released from its body. As they fall, they brightly illuminate the entire chamber.
Look, the shadows.
The glowing pods create vaguely humanoid shadows on the walls of the cistern, which act in an anomalous manner. These shadows appear to reach their hands up or forward, as if towards the team. As the pods reach the slurry below, they extinguish and the shadows disappear.
Alright. Which way do we go?
This is a drainage pipe, leading away from the incinerator. The incinerator is underneath the power station, which is to the east of the compound. So far as we can tell, we need to go northwest from there, so... Hang on. Look over there.
At what?
At the wall. Something is seeping through it. Was that there before?
No.
What is it? Drainage?
Unlikely. It's probably runoff from the reactor or...
No, it's blood. It's leeches.
What?
Look.
Onru points at a spot on the wall, illuminated by their shoulder-mounted lamps. At that spot, a thick flow of fluid is seeping between a crack in the wall, and something small is wriggling within the crack. The team zooms in on the spot, revealing a small, arriving leech pushing its way through the spot. It breaks through and falls to the ground.
Huh. It's a leech. What does that mean?
Nothing good.
The small leech moves towards the biological slurry at their feet and begins to ingest it. As it does, the leech slowly begins to grow in size.
More of them. In the wall, there. Pushing through.
The team looks back towards the wall where several spouts of black fluid are beginning to pour through various cracks along its surface. Several smaller leeches are squirming through these cracks.
Onru, what do you see?
There's something below us. It's huge, covered in other people's blood, reaching up toward us. These are like fingers. They all communicate back to the host. Bring me a leech.
What?
You're kidding.
No, bring me one. They're telepathic. They're communicating that way. I need a leech.
Irantu moves across the room before grabbing a leech off of the ground. As he pulls it away from the liquid, it struggles and squirms, biting several large chunks out of his hand.
Peculiar. Here.
Alright, one moment.
Onru extends her left hand towards the leech, which opens up to reveal a series of long, delicate metallic rods with pointed tips. She maneuvers the rods into the flesh of the creature near the base of the brain.
There, let's see. They heard the incinerator activate. They're hungry. They're coming up here to eat, a lot of them. The host is down below us, but I can't see that far down. If I look at the neural activity of the entire network of entities, I can map out the area they're in. Let me see if I can do something with that. There we go. You should all have it on your retinas now.
Clever.
So we're looking at a map? It seems too distorted to be a map.
Ongoing topographical changes means that despite the changes in the structure of the site, it's all still located within our local reality. It's just unstable.
Do we know where this thresher device is?
Probably something to do with this section here. If you follow a logical structural design plan based on the evidence provided in this map, there should be a whole extra wing here, but there aren't any of the leeches down that way. Yes, I can see conduit running to that area. That's where the thresher machine is.
What about our recovery?
This area, here. Several corridors lead to a large research wing, but most of them have been blocked off. Every now and then, one of the ends of the network goes dark here. The survivors are in there.
What's the fastest way in from where we're at now?
One moment. 3 paths to choose from, each with different potential hazards. The first takes us farther down this pipeline until we reach a waste treatment facility within the plant. This is the longest route, but from that facility it's a fairly direct shot toward the survivors. The second path drops us into another cistern below this, which leads directly to this large chamber here. The leech is in there. I can hear it right now. It's wondering why this one hasn't come back.
And the third?
The third route takes us through this area here, which is queer. I can hear the leeches as they move around the site. They're noisy, uncoordinated, acting on impulse and without much finesse. But this area, they're all very quiet. They go in and out for something, but they do it very, very quietly.
Look at this leech. It's the size of a cat already.
Are there any other entities in there?
I can't tell. The leeches follow a single path in and a single path out. They don't stray away from it, and they don't look around.
Which is the fastest path?
The last one is the fastest. We follow this tunnel toward a service door and follow a staircase toward the bottom. Once we're there, there's another hallway off to the left that takes us past that area, Or through it, maybe. And on the other side is the back entrance to our research wing.
Alright. That's the one we'll take then.
A shame. Here I thought we'd be shooting leeches.
You'll have plenty of chances to on our way out, I'm sure. We need to get these people out quickly. Onru, does it feel to you like the leeches are trying to get into the wing where the survivors are?
Yes, there is plenty of blood in this site, but not all of it is still warm. They'll be coming for them soon.
The team leaves the cistern and follows the drainage pipe west. Eventually, the team reaches a service door lit by a single flickering lamp.
There's something written on this door. Blood.
Here on the wall, too. Look, what's it written in?
Wait.
Look.
Onru amplifies her shoulder-mounted spotlight, illuminating the entire wall of the tunnel. The word blood is repeated over and over, scrawled across the surface of the wall in a thick black substance. Onru turns left, illuminating several desiccated corpses in a corner at the end of the tunnel, all of which are covered in and seeping the same fluid.
Unsettling.
Come on, don't waste time.
The team enters the service door, revealing a partial staircase. The stairs above them are intact, but the stairs below them have been destroyed. The walls of the staircase are coated in cracks, through which seeps the black fluid. Munru lights a flare and drops it, and the team watches it fall. After a short time, the flare lands with a slight splash, revealing the floor below.
How large is this site?
Site 19 has at least 50 underground floors and no fewer than 80 individual wings. Considering what we know about Site 13, it's likely that there are at least twice as many of each, if not more. The Euclid-class containment cells alone are as large as the entirety of Site 81.
Which means there could be worse things down there nobody has seen yet.
It's almost a certainty.
Irantu leaps from the landing and lands near the flare, his implants absorbing the majority of the impact. The rest of the team follow suit. At the bottom of the stairwell is another door into a hallway, and the team enters it.
Where to now?
About 200 meters down this hallway on the right. There are several security doors, but I think they've all been disabled. Through there is... I think it's a data storage center. It's big, lined with vents that lead to the cooling towers at the surface.
Where do the leeches start acting strange?
In there.
Wonderful.
The team moves down the hallway, Nanku at point, flanked by Onru and Munru, and Irantu watching the rear. As they pass, they check each door to see if they are locked. Most doors lead to network maintenance areas, though notably, one door leads to the telecommunications room previously visited by the AP3 team. One screen on the far wall appears to have been busted from the inside out.
Look here. This is the door to the server area.
What's that door there?
It's marked as stairs to cryonics. If I had to guess, I'd say it probably goes up to the next levels. And it's seated right on top of this room. Acts as insulation for the data center.
Can we go through it?
Which way is faster, Onru?
The only way I can see is through the server room. There aren't any leeches up there. That is very strange. There are certainly plenty of access points to that room. Very strange.
Through the server room, then. Come on.
The team enters through the door of the server room. They pass through several more security doors, all of which are unlocked. As they do so, the external temperature drops severely and stays steady at roughly -20 degrees Celsius. Irantu motions for the team to activate their internal heating coils, protecting their internal organs from damage due to exposure. As the team proceeds down the hallway into the server room, Nanku's scramble optical implant begins to activate, signaling that an anomalous meme is being filtered out. However, Nanku had previously disabled the visual cue for the warning on her optical overlay, instead relying on the audio cue that accompanied the implant. The audio warning does not trigger at all. It is not until the team enter the primary server room that Onru realizes that no sound is audible at all, regardless of the source. Thinking at first that it might be her auditory implant, Onru removes the implant and restarts it, but after establishing that it is functioning properly, she attempts to communicate this with Irantu. Irantu motions for the team to hold and attempt to discern the source of the anomalous influence. As they do, each other team member receives the warning that their scramble filters are being triggered. Munru motions towards the door they entered through, but Irantu motions towards the back of the server area towards the research wing. It is during this silent discussion that Nanku first notices movement across the large room, motioning for her teammates to stay still. Each team member begins to hear a quiet whining sound, which slowly grows in intensity. As they huddle up, Munru notices writing on one of the server racks written in black fluid that says, "Silence," and then, "Don't look." He motions towards the racks and the team acknowledges it. Irantu motions for the team to move towards the far wall, and they slowly proceed between the server racks towards the back exit. Suddenly, Onru catches a momentary glimpse of a large entity across the room and stops her teammates from advancing. She looks around the corner and sees the entity again as it comes back into view. The entity is a massive multi-limbed figure. The primary structure of the entity is a floating cross-legged humanoid construct with 6 legs, 18 arms, and 36 forearms attached to 72 hands. Each limb moves independently, gesturing and posing in constant, sudden, jerking movements. The entity does not have a head, but instead has a large flat circular structure attached to its upper chest that is covered in a large number of symbols and glyphs, which glow with bright white light against the entity's dark grey-brown skin. On each of the entity's arms are a gold band attached to a chain, which drags the ground when not being pulled around in one of the entity's gestures. The golden bands are etched with glyphs later identified as being powerful anti-kineto hazards, though the chains are broken and the anti-kineto hazards are inactive. Most notably, a single severely emaciated, severely charred human figure is bound to the flat circular structure of the entity's head. The figure twists against its restraint and appears to be screaming, likely the whining sound heard through the entity's muting kineto hazard. As the entity performs its gestures, the glyphs on its head illuminate rapidly, often causing burns where the human's skin comes in contact with them, creating further distress and increasing the volume of the whining. Onru also notices that some aspect of the entity is creating a severe malfunction in her optical implants, singeing the circuits responsible for handling the scramble calculations. She looks away, ejecting the implants before they damage her retinas, and motions for the rest of Tau 5 team to not look at the entity directly. The team acknowledges and they continue to move forward. Suddenly, the whining becomes dramatically louder and begins to draw closer to the team. Munru drops a proximity mine from his pack and then another a short distance away. As they flee away from the entity, streaks of blue electricity begin to arc between the server racks, and the ground beneath them begins to shift as if it was made of sand. As Nanku threatens to fall into the ground, there is a muffled wave of pressure behind them as the first proximity mine detonates and the ground solidifies. The team turns a corner and the back entrance to the room comes into view. From above them, they can see a hole in the ceiling exposed to the cryonics laboratory, and briefly a complicated containment cell is visible, though it is thoroughly destroyed. The team moves swiftly towards the door as white-hole glyphs begin to appear on the ground beneath them and in the air around them. The team manages to duck and weave through the symbols, but Nanku catches her left arm on a glyph in the air and it bursts into flames. Irantu, having seen this from his position behind Nanku, fires his weapon at her shoulder, removing the arm. It falls to the ground and explodes into a cinder. Munru reaches the door first and throws it open, and Onru follows immediately afterwards. Nanku stumbles through, collapsing on the other side, and Irantu comes up last. Just before closing the door, Irantu turns to look at the entity closing in behind them, which at this point was a barely visible blur of gestures, fiery glyphs, and an inhuman whine. As the door swings closed, Irantu zooms in on the humanoid figure strapped to the entity's head, enough to see the word Emerson seared into the flesh of the figure. Irantu slams the door closed and immediately ejects his optical implants. The team rushes down the corridor away from the security door, and slowly the sound of footsteps can be heard around them. They reach a large open space in between several hallways and stop to catch their breath.
I don't believe I know how to respond to whatever that was. What was that?
I have no idea. I've never seen anything like it.
There was a human strapped to its head. Did you see that?
I did. I think it was shouting.
Nanku looks at the stump of her arm.
I'll likely miss that arm later.
You'll be alright. Just be careful.
Like I needed it anyway. I've got another.
Noted. Everybody alright?
No worse for wear.
I'm fine.
I'm alright too. We're here, look.
The team turns to see the hallway to their immediate east, which has been barricaded and filled with a substantial amount of explosives and incendiary equipment.
Good.
Irantu approaches the barricade.
Hello? This is Tau 5 Irantu. Is anyone there? We're here to get you out. Hello?
Maybe we're too late.
We're not too late. Hello? Is anyone there? Can you—
There is a shuffling sound, and a large wooden crate is moved slightly. A dark face can be seen in the space between the crate and the wall.
Captain.
Oh boy, the goddamn Power Rangers. They told me about you. You look like you've been hit by a train.
Something like that.
Well, come on then. We don't have much time left.
The team moves towards the opening in the crates. As Munru and Nanku pass through, Onru pauses. Irantu notices this and turns to look.
Irantu, look. Leeches.
Black cracks have begun to form on the walls of the atrium behind them, and wriggling black leeches start to fall out of them, accompanied by a thick black fluid. And that concludes part 6 of SCP-1730. I hope you enjoyed this entry. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, it really helps the channel. Thank you to all the amazing patrons and members for keeping this channel going. Please consider joining them. And thank you to Rick Trexon, Wings of the Memes, Number of the East, Splendid the Tear God, Razman, Guardian of Energy, Luna Wilson, Deathly Thorium. Big thanks to the council members Arctoast Kibara, Captain Core, Hunter Killer, Tree, Monarch Kikaran, your local Foundation agent, Bane, Catclone, Dtex, and Dr. Nightriff and Tyson. And huge thanks to the administrators Viger, Kamana, Infinitune, Sonic, GFHD, Techno Ninja, Afray Interactive, and Ryan B. Thank you all for watching, I'll see you all soon, and take care.